Hello, kiddies. Welcome to Gags from the Crypt.
Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to episode 1 of Nothing But Trouble. My name is Rachel, and joining me today is Jody and Mondo to talk about the greatest film ever made. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hello. I'm guessing people at home are probably wondering where Jason is right now, but I think if you've been listening, you know we broke him. He's broken.
Last week. That was
We did
all.
last week. His final straw. He quit the podcast, and we're still going to keep all the same handles and all that stuff, but we will now be the Nothing But Trouble podcast. So we'll be talking about that movie again this week.
Yeah,
Constantly.
today's going to be a treatise on just Demi Moore. We're just going to talk about her hair for an hour. It's going to be great. You guys are going to love it.
Demi Moore looked great in that movie. She was fantastic looking.
Demi Moore looked great when she was Alyssa Sue in The Substance.
Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely. Also, very, very much agree. How come all these movies is always some guy that's dating way out of his league?
That's a very good question. And I think that it is definitely something that we're going to spend the next 45 to 75 minutes discussing. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Yes, another glorious win for feminism. Even the girls can be daddies now. JK.
Oh,
All right, that's enough with this tomfoolery.
I don't know. Honestly,
Rachel,
he's working.
I was having a great time.
I feel like we had something going. We had a chemistry. Now
Yeah.
Dad's here to break up the slumber party.
It's the fun police.
So I do have to take issue with one thing that was said last week, and that was the impugning of Better Off. What was it? The Fred movie, the imaginary friend.
Drop
Fred.
Drop Dead Fred.
Thank you. That is an abomination. I can't believe you had the nerve to say that on the air, on the waves of the internet. That's
Jason
an
likes
excellent
to
film.
take fun movies.
The movie's an abomination, or it's an abomination that I said that?
See,
B-
we're right
B.
back here again.
It's.
I think I want you guys to review it, and I want to come back and review it with you.
I'm totally down. I haven't seen that since probably middle school, maybe, if not earlier than that. So yeah, I'm
It's
totally
so
down to watch
great.
that again.
I feel like
It's
that's something I
so
watched
great.
in 5th grade. So yeah, I'm ready.
So Jason, is that happening?
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Rachel, for coming in and being the top daddy for our little
Well, you got to
intro.
commit to the bit, you know?
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm still here, and I'm doubling down by making us watch the new season of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
I watched it.
We're not living in a dystopian enough reality. We need to now immerse
watched the
ourselves in the
episode.
art.
I watched on my lunch break at work, and I messaged Jason and Jody and saying, I'm just going to go walk into traffic. That's how I felt after watching that episode. I'm just going to leave the office and just walk aimlessly, and I'll find something eventually. That's me.
Yeah,
now.
I want to know at what point in the episode each of us texted Jason to be like, dude, what the fuck? Because mine was about the time that he put the pillow over someone's face. I was like,
Oh.
what are you
Well,
doing?
that's like towards the end, though. You made it
Yeah.
pretty far then.
I made it pretty
I commend
far,
you.
Yeah.
For those that don't remember, we did review the first 2 seasons, and then we were just like, we need some sunshine in our lives. We're probably not going to come back to this. And then we were like tricked, like Charlie Brown with Lucy in the football. We saw a shiny thing that we could go review, and we now we're regretting it already.
Shiny.
You
But,
never made it to
yeah,
like
the
any
new-
of the actual happy episodes, it sounds like.
There's
Just-
only
There's
like
happy episodes.
2 in the whole series, too.
I feel like last season had a couple fun ones. No?
I don't remember enough to. I don't remember last season enough. Was last season the one that had the murder mystery? The people that were trying to find a killer, a boyfriend and girlfriend.
I don't think
Okay,
so.
never
Well, the werewolfy one.
No. Where they find out like it was their parents that had like this sex dungeon. They were killing people.
I don't think I've seen that episode.
Uh,
That sounds
Remy had a good
amazing.
time.
Well, last night it was like the disco like demon one was really fun.
I don't
Like at
remember
the
that.
and that's like it's called like Demon 79. It's
You are,
great.
yeah.
That
I
one's
remember that one.
fun. The one where the woman is a reality show is really great. It has the woman from Schitt's Creek in it. It's great. That one's
Did I not
fun.
watch last season? Now I'm thinking.
There,
Someone,
last
someone should
season
send us a
was
list of the
fun.
fun episodes. Some newest ones to watch.
I remember
mean,
San Junipero was a fun episode.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's
Mhm.
season 3.
Last season also has the episode that was my like watermark for darkness on the show. It's called like Beyond the Sea, and it is up until today the bleakest episode of
Yeah,
Black
I,
Mirror
I
that
read
I've
an
seen.
article after watching this that said this was the bleakest episode they've ever made, and it's
yeah.
definitely in the running for sure.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we'll get into it. So again, we're reviewing the newest episode of Black Mirror, season 7. We're starting with episode 1. Jody, give us a plot synopsis.
All right, so we meet Amanda and Mike. Nice little couple. They're living in a, moderate house on the edge of town. She's a school teacher. He's a metal worker. They're getting by. I think they're on like their 3rd anniversary of getting married, and they seem overall to be a happy couple. Until one day, Amanda collapses. She's teaching class and she just collapses. He gets a call on the job site and has to go to the hospital. They don't fully explain what's going on, but I'm assuming it's cancer. She has brain cancer, and it's inoperable. It's too far. But the doctor said there's this new startup out there, and they're called Rivermind. And what they can do is they can digitize your brain and then cut out that piece, and then they keep your actual like thoughts and brain stored in the cloud. So that way you don't have to worry about keeping it in your fragile body. It can be stored in the cloud and beamed to you. The catch is it costs $300 a month. And so you have to pay $300 a month for this subscription. It is limited to where you have service, like an old cell phone plan where there's, service areas and areas that are not served. And then as things go on, we discover a few more downsides, such as she starts randomly spouting ads. And this was the point that I went, oh, crap, this is going to get bad.
Dark out.
So she's just talking to somebody, and then an ad will just kind of naturally flow out of her. And she doesn't even remember doing it. It just happens. At one point, a kid is coming to her, talking to her about some problems he's having at home. And then she goes into an ad spiel for a Christian counseling company, which causes the kid to be confused, causes his mom to be very upset, and basically like don't talk to the teacher anymore. The school finds out about it, and they want to they saying, that couldn't have been you. You couldn't have done that. She said, yeah, actually, here's what's going on. And basically, if she doesn't stop spouting ads, she's going to lose her job. But thankfully, Rivermind has a solution. They have a premium plan. And for the premium plan, you can travel wherever. You're not going to do ads. You don't sleep 16 hours a day, which you do on the basic plan, because your brain needs time to just kind of like connect to the cloud and let other people use that server space, the server intensity. And so
it also powers the server too.
Later they find out that when she is asleep, they're basically using her brain power to power the server. Man,
what was that thing like in college? Everyone used it was like Eddie or something. There was like a program that used downtime on computers to find aliens.
I mean, that's what all the crypto mining stuff does. Is a lot of times it uses your downtime on your computer to create crypto that you don't get anything for. Meanwhile, that costs an extra $500 on top of the original $300. So downside so far we have she sleeps all day, she says ads, she can't travel. They go to an anniversary dinner and like go outside of town, and they find out, oh no, we've changed our towers. You're only active in your area now, like in your neighborhood. If you go outside of there, basically she dies again. Like she just passes out completely. She's no longer connected to the cloud. Well, Mike needs to make some money because he has to come up with $800 a month. And there is a website called Dumb Dummies, which is basically OnlyFans, but for instead of doing sex acts for money, you do whatever stupid thing people want you to do, like put your dick in a mouse trap. Like that's the kind of things you do, and you get $90, and then you can pay for your wife's brain to continue functioning at the current service level.
Some people pay good money to have someone else put their dick in a mousetrap. So
sure,
I'm just saying, you get paid for it.
Yeah. You should have got on OnlyFans, to be honest. That's why it's called Dumb Dummies.
Anyway, he's making money for her subscription basically by sacrificing his own body and health and everything else by doing stupid things. He eventually somebody offers to pay him $500 to take off the mask he's wearing, and so then all his coworkers find out. There's a big thing about it. He accidentally hurts one of his coworkers and loses his job. Well, that's when we find out that there is actually another level of premium available. This is the Lux plan. And on the Lux plan, not only do you have a functioning brain, but you get to like matrix yourself and like have skills that you can control with an app. Like, I want to learn to do tennis. And so you just zoop that up on the app and then you can play tennis, or you can turn up your pleasure so you can feel life in a more pleasurable way, or relaxation, or what. You basically have a brain you can control with an app. It's not great. They go on vacation and he can't afford it. It's $1,000 extra a month. He can't afford it, but you can buy like temporary passes. And so he does some stuff on Dumb Dummies. He gets enough money, and they go on vacation, and she turns her pleasure all the way up, but it's just not her anymore. Like she's enjoying things in a way that's weird. Like they've always gone back to the same place every year. It's where they got married. The food is crappy. The entertainment's crappy. They laugh about it. They joke about the place they are, but she's so in her pleasure mind that it's not them anymore. It's not her anymore. She's enjoying it on a level that's not her. It's basically taken over her brain. So they go back to the Rivermind person and say like, hey, we've lost job. We can't go back to the cheaper tier. And she's like, oh, the cheaper tier doesn't exist anymore. But we can't go back to that anymore because she won't be able to keep her job. And basically they're like, oh, okay, well, we'll just kind of like turn you off and keep you off until, you can reactivate your subscription again. And every time they're in this office, I'm so mad. I'm so infuriated every time they're talking to this customer service rep. But basically they kind of give up and go home. And he comes to her one day and says, hey, I've got enough money for 30 more minutes of Lux. It's all I could raise. And I'm doing something for a private client. And so she turns her serenity all the way up and basically says it's time. And so he gets ready to smother her with a pillow while she is at peace. But then the time runs out and she starts saying ads. And so as he's smothering her, she's spouting off ads. And then he goes into a room with a scalpel to do whatever it is that he was about to make money doing for this guy. Just horrible. Just horrible all the way, or every part of it. Just terrible. It's the worst.
Terrible.
Yeah. So there you go. Service terminated. Thank you for choosing Rivermind.
All right, Rachel, start us off. What do you think?
So we're horror fans. We like dark shit. We do. We like to be disturbed. But this was like emotional torture porn. This was so brutal. And I think part of it is there's so many elements, but starting with just the casting alone, like it is perfectly attuned to make it as painful and as cutting as possible. Rashida Jones, Chris Dowd,
yeah,
and even Tracy Ellis Ross are all actors who I know really well and who I really like and have this very everyday, relatable person sort of energy that makes you love them so much. So when one of them is cruel, it hurts. When someone is hurting, it really hurts. And the acting in this, playing often against type, really drives a lot of that home. I mean, I love the IT crowd. So Chris Dowd is someone that I love, but he's usually a comedic actor, but he is such a brilliant dramatic actor. There's this thing he does where he's so kind and he's smiling with his face, and all you see is just the pain around his eyes. That is just brilliant working, like brilliant work, but it's so painful to watch. And then I do really appreciate the way it brought in, like, we're going to talk about how this applies to real world, like, medical choices people make all the time, I'm sure. You know, it's not usually something this high tech. Maybe it's something as simple as insulin, things like that. People are making these kinds of choices all the time. But I do appreciate the way that it brought in these elements of class, and the way that as we move through this, we find out that the processing power when she's in sleep mode is to facilitate this other level of consciousness that the wealthy can easily access. It commodifies the middle class and poor. And I think that was a very smart addition to what was otherwise kind of a straightforward but effective metaphor. So yeah, this was a rough go, but I didn't necessarily enjoy it, but I respect it.
All right, Mondo.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like when I first, it starts up and you see Rashida Jones and Chris Dowd, you're thinking, oh, they're lovely people, and then oof, does it
But you know,
them,
anyone that
well,
happy in a Black Mirror episode, you know it's
Yeah.
going to go really bad for them.
Yeah.
But you
and
hope maybe it's a wacky episode. Maybe it'll be one of the fun wacky ones.
Yeah, right.
It's the opposite of Tales from the Crypt. You know, in Tales from the Crypt, you see someone acting like a human piece of garbage. You're like, oh, something's going to happen. In Black Mirror, you see someone happy and like, oh, something's going to happen.
Oh no, this person's having they're having a great life. What's going to happen?
I like them.
And just to get it out of the way for any of my fellow Office fans out there, Karen was better than Pam. I'm just going to say that. That's just a factual statement. Just going to say that. I'm not saying Pam was bad. I'm just saying Karen was better, and we can argue this awful.
I don't pit women against each other.
Well, to be
Gotcha.
fair, Jim was also a dick. Like if you worked with Jim, he'd be that guy. You're like, oh, fuck, I had to work with Jim today. Like, yeah, he's funny, but he doesn't do his fucking job, and anyhow. I thought this is really good, and it brings up, like I said, the piece of it that like was so stark to me is the whole episode. I kept thinking, he made this decision for her, and not out of like selfishness, but out of, well, maybe a little bit out of selfishness, and that's when you bring up the piece about medical and how people react to medical care or choosing medical care. Like, what do you do in that situation? I mean, it's almost. I remember, this is really different, but it's similar. I remember taking my dog to get spayed at this low-cost spay clinic in town, and they say it's $50. I'm like, cool, I'll go get it done. Then they give you this list of all the extra stuff you can add on. Like, do you want extra painkillers just in case? Well, it's like, well, yeah, obviously. Do you want an IV? Of course I want an IV in case something happens. And it's in that moment when you're caring for a loved one, you're willing to pay, and it's predatory practices. It's the whole United States medical system is very predatory, and they basically use this person's grief in the moment of potentially losing his wife forever to somehow kind of swindle them, because now you owe them $300 for life for now. And they, as you see, they raise prices. The ads come in, they start writing stuff like that, and then you throw in the angle with the dumb dummies site, and it's just showing the exploitative nature of our society and what people will go through when they're desperate to make money. And I could never be on that site, because I'd be the guy like, we paid the guy like what, $20 to drink his own urine or something like that. I'm like, I'd have paid him $40 to not do it. I'd be on there like $40 to not do it and to pour the glass.
I thought you were going to say you'd do it for free.
I'm already doing it anyway, so might as well.
First of all, there are also definitely people that pay to get peed on. So, like,
I mean, I do want to point out, at this moment, you're talking about like, no, we're talking about, yes, Mondo would drink his pee, and then you pull out a cup full of yellow liquid like 5 seconds later.
It's an IPA. Some people say it tastes like pee.
I
It's
mean,
It's a little
delicious.
frothy. You might want to have that checked. The bubbles on top.
No, but yeah, it was a great episode. Like you said, enjoy. It's hard to say like I enjoyed this because I didn't enjoy it. When I tell people to watch it, yes,
Mhm.
definitely, without a doubt, because of how many things it hits on. And I actually did cheer though when that spoilers for anyone that hasn't seen it. Well, we already spoiled everything.
Yeah, we
but
already gave away the
I,
ending already.
I really liked it when that young kid got what was coming, got his, because they definitely
Yes.
alluded to the fact that he was the one that paid him to take his mask off.
Mhm.
Because he was obviously
Oh, was
watching the
it?
stream, and then well, they kind of alluded to it by the
Wait.
fact that, Jason.
What did he? How? What made you
So
think that?
they show earlier that young kid is always on that site, right?
Always on W.
And why? And obviously he had been on this site doing things for a while to help make money for this treatment. So I think it was kind of, at least in my brain, maybe it wasn't, but I thought he was the one that made him take his mask off, which is why everyone the next day is all laughing at him, like as a retaliatory thing, because at the beginning you see Chris Dowd walk into and like give him shit for being on a long break because now he can't do what he needs to do. So I thought that was like his retaliatory thing because the kid is always on that website. That's at least what I thought. So I was not that upset when he got ran over.
So
Yeah, I think
that makes a lot of sense. I don't know why. I don't know if that guy would have $500 to pay that, but
dude, welders make good money. So it's also was interesting, and man, the fact they preyed on them too about the baby, it's going to cost $300 more if you want to have a baby.
Yeah,
that
we didn't get into that.
broke my goddamn heart. Like,
I mean,
well, okay,
I
when
have
they
to
brought
say, it's
that up,
kind of
I thought
ironic this is on Netflix too. When they rolled out the ads and stuff, I was like, some of this fits the pricing model on this very streaming service.
But I know this episode was written by Charlie Booker, the guy who actually made the whole series, and I feel like that's a middle finger to Netflix because that's exactly what Charlie Booker would do.
Yeah. Great story, great acting, but
yeah. Oh, me? Oh yeah. No, I thought it was really well made, like great acting, great like the plot was good. It's so depressing. I mean, it's the enshittification of life, basically. Like every bad service you've ever signed up for that was good when you started. Like, I mean, we've all seen like so many things like in our lifetimes that like were pretty cool when they first came out that suck now. Facebook was pretty cool when it first came out. It sucks now. So many things have gone through that. And like, this is the natural end of like life itself. Like you have to pay a subscription service to stay alive, and it gets worse and worse and worse. And like,
Jody, I thought I was already depressed.
I know, it's terrible. It's terrible. But again, it's a really well done, like, I mean, Black Mirror in general, like, it is not a feel-good kind of show, but it's just super well made. And it has good points, I think. But you know, it's not fun. Like I enjoy it on the level of saying this was a good experience, but I feel bad afterwards, you know, like it's a different kind of horror than what we normally talk about. When we talk about horror, I enjoy the horror of, you know, a masked man with a machete. Like that's fun because I'm probably not going to run into it. But subscription service getting crappier and charging me more, I run into it every freaking day. Like, you know, and so it hits close to home in a way, you know, and the whole medical side of it too. Like this is our medical system. If this company existed, it absolutely would be integrated into our medical system. I have no doubt about that.
Do you think the fact that she didn't know she'd been suffering from headaches for a long time and had never obviously been to the doctor to get this looked at? I think that's another indictment of our medical system here in the United States, because there are people that would rather die. I have a Canadian friend that I explained this to, because he goes like, well, because someone had died of a heart attack because they didn't call an ambulance. They just try to wait it out. And he's like, how does this happen? I was like, well, in the States, like there are people who'd rather just try to wait it out than risk financial ruin for going to the hospital. Yeah. And that was the other piece I looked at this too, like how if we had universal health care and preventive maintenance in the US, this probably never would have gotten that far, because the nurse even or the doctor makes a comment saying, well, if she'd have come in 2 weeks ago, this wouldn't be dire, but now she's probably not going to make it.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, that hit me hard too. I was like, God damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I mentioned on the show before, my daughter had a terrible accident when she was just a year and a half old. And so I've been that person in the doctor's office going, whatever it takes, man. Like, whatever it takes, make it happen, make it fix.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. To have that tied in with capitalism like that, and that's ultimately what this boils down to, is all of this is capitalism ruling over. Like, this company could exist in a way that just helped people, but it doesn't. It does help people, but only if you can pay. And so, like, we keep
Well, it's also
having
not
cool
being predatory in its practices, or at least not in shady in what they're telling people, and
like
advertising it.
this amazing thing where you can like cut out a chunk of brain and still like live life. That could be something that is bought by the government and distributed freely through the healthcare system, and like all of that could happen, but it doesn't, because nobody would make any money off of it that way.
You know, it's crazy. Like a month ago, I was listening to, maybe it was Sam Cedar, one of these very smart progressive commentary, was talking about Elon Musk's Neuralink. And someone had argued with them saying, well, it's already helped 2 people. And he actually said, well, what happens when he starts charging you for this?
Yeah.
And I was like, I saw this today. I was like, oh shit, that's what he wants to do. Oh my God.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, and I was thinking, when she did have the Lux package for the 12 hours on their vacation, how do you go back from that? Like, it gives you like life of like everything is exciting and pleasurable, and then you're just supposed to like go back to like food tasting normal again and shitty music sounding shitty again. Like, it's like a taste.
Drug,
it's a drug. Yeah, it's a drug.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure where it was going to go next. I was like, are we going into addiction? But I think it lays just enough there for you to have that sort of thought, and then it keeps moving.
Well, they do something smart with it, though, because the first time he buys the cards for her, she gives him shit that they can't afford it. The next time she doesn't. And I'm not saying she's wrong in that fact. I'm just saying it just shows that the experience was so great. It's like, yeah, I'll pay for that experience. Right. And we all do that in our day-to-day lives with everything. Like, we pay for an experience all the time because it's an escape or something we enjoy. And
but then once
you
you've
live in
had
a
that
whole city
experience,
that exists for that.
You know, I live nowhere near that shit though. Like, right, I live on the outskirts. But
it's like once you go to Disneyland,
Universal Horror Nights, I'll come down there for the Universal Horror thing.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, it's like once you go to Disneyland.
Fun fact: they my old office was right where that sits, and that's why we got kicked out. Is because the guy sold all the land to Area 15, and that's it at least sits on the ashes of my old office.
But let's
go. That office sucked.
Anything else, Johnny?
Yeah, come out of Vegas. We'll do that.
That's most of it. I just it's hard to know what to say about, because it's so well made. Like, it is such a good piece of media, and it has so much to say, but it's so hard to watch because, like Rachel was saying, these people, they're so likable. You want good things for them, and from the get-go, no good things are coming. Even things that seem good are not good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's perfect casting, because like obviously they're movie stars, but there is something that is working class about their appeal.
Yeah.
And so in this role, they are, Chris O'Dowd in particular.
Chris O'Dowd was very working class, but Sheila Jones, I just find her so charismatic. I could just listen, like in Social Network, she's just like really minor character, but she just like makes such an impact on that.
And Perkins.
There we go.
These are just people I feel like I can relate to. Like, I know if I was in these same circumstances, I would make a lot of the same moves and end up in the same bad situation in the end.
Me too, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let me get into it though, because
Jason, go.
Because there's that big turn where the husband gets the call that his wife's in the hospital. And I don't know if you guys have ever got that call, but it is terrifying. Like,
Yeah.
or like your wife's been in an accident, she's on the way to the ER. Like, I've gotten that call, and your adrenaline like bursts, and then you have to like bust your ass to get there and everything, and it's terrifying. So like right from the get-go, that really had me. We've already talked about how devastating this is emotionally, but I think now that I've had time to process it, I think I'm finding more of the humor of the satire in it is kind of percolating more towards the top. I've had time to process that trauma. It's interesting because
only Jason would say that Nothing But Trouble is a terrible movie, and then say this episode was fun and had humor. Okay,
I'm saying once you separate those two things out, with a little bit of time, and you have time to process that, it is funny because I don't know if
what do they say?
if
1
all
in
of you
4
have
is a
seen-
sociopath. Like, isn't
yeah. Well,
Again, this
there were
is
some
Charlie
interesting
Brooker,
parallels.
so there's going to be
Yeah.
satire in it.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
sure.
Well, it's funny because they can change your mood once they have the deluxe package. They can change your moods with the phone, which remind me of Companion. If you've seen that,
Yeah.
there's a little bit of that in there. The very end where they sell the crib, I thought was really funny because they go to sell the crib that they kind of bought in case they ever have a baby, and they're like, "What do you do?" And they're like, "Oh, it's not for a baby." He's like, "What's it for?" It's like, "Oh, we're gonna burn it in a music video." I was like, "That's kind of amazing." I thought that was really funny.
And then he
line.
smiles with his missing tooth, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, and but the end too is he got the heavy bags under his eyes, very unshaven. Like, just you can tell they've had a rough go of it.
But Mondo, did you think of Bob's Burgers when they said they were going to burn the crib for a music video?
No, I didn't.
There's an episode of Bob's
No.
Burgers where they have to sell their old crappy couch. It's falling apart. It smells bad. It's got stains on it.
Oh
They
yes,
sell it to some
okay.
kids who are going to burn it for a music video. But they end up getting it back and giving them their brand new couch because they can't have nice things on that show either.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, when they brought up the baby, where I thought it was going to go, it's like, oh, we can give you a discount if you let us use your baby's brain power since they're not developing or they're not like. I thought that's where it was going to go for a moment. Like,
I could
that-
see
I
it
thought
work.
for sure we had just seen a yoga mom parkour, which was actually funny.
Yeah.
That
was funny.
Yeah,
I thought
that
they were
video-
going to
that
say
ad was
we can
funny.
help you get pregnant with this, and then the answer
Mhm.
was so much worse. They're like,
Yeah.
oh no, we're going to charge you more for that after, especially because you reflect back on that the initial conversation that they have where she is presenting a miracle to a man who is desperate, and he said they don't have kids, they want to have kids, and she doesn't say anything about this. She just says this will give you more time. Like, it is so incredibly manipulative that yeah, this is, I feel like TV and movies are at their very, very best when they are empathy bombs. They don't have to be didactic. In this case, it's pretty didactic, but it doesn't have to be. But you do need to be like swept up and put in like the subjective mind and emotional space of your characters. And this, holy shit, does it do this?
Yes.
When I was watching this part in particular, the lack of empathy that she has and the lack of empathy, like the epidemic of lack of empathy that we have as a culture right now. All I could think is like, I really hope people see this and it like cracks open their heart, and I hope that they are on Luigi Mangioni's jury.
Some people are gonna watch that and be like, yeah, if they can't pay, they deserve that.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
some people are gonna be like that, and it's God. And
You got a better job.
Going back to that sales rep for
in
a moment.
sales, though, like, I'm not a salesman. I'm a sales engineer, meaning I make sure that the salespeople aren't selling shit that we can't come through with. And my company is very honest in our sales. In the fact is, like, I always tell people, like, I rather tell you we can't do something and you get mad at me now than say I can do it and you're pissed at me in 10 months when you spent $30,000 and we still can't do it. And so I think that really hit me hard. And I'm like, and I also wonder, she said that she was a recipient of this treatment. Do you think that was true?
Let me get to that.
Yeah, because we see
I was
her
gonna
using
I was-
it. Yeah.
Okay.
At the end, when
Okay,
he yells at her, like she turns up her like
Nonchalance.
calmness, or
I totally missed that.
nonchalant.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
So
Okay.
she's a
Yeah,
true
because I
believer.
wasn't buying the whole this happened to me 18 months ago and now I work for them. That seemed
Right.
really bullshit to me.
I
And
think
think-
I
you
thought
want true believers, though.
I mean,
when you're selling
well,
stuff.
hold
like
on,
that.
hold on. I thought the twist was going to be that she was actually servitude to the company, in order to pay for hers.
That'd have been good.
Yeah,
That would make sense, though, right? Because now, but I don't know.
She works on commission to pay for her implant or whatever it is.
Yeah, that would also.
I was kind of waiting for something.
I mean, she definitely does just in
she
the
was
capitalism
complicit.
sense.
I'm glad she was making a choice and was complicit, because I think that would have muddied it thematically. You know what I mean? I think it would have been from a story point, kind of a twisty twist. But when I'm looking at it for what it's trying to say about a particular, the way culture works, I think this is the better choice. But in terms of twists, yours was better.
I want to say she was probably complicit because if it was going to be a twist,
kind of part of the. It shows everyone's part of the pyramid.
Right.
Yeah. But if they wanted a twist, I think they would have given you little hints about her. Like maybe they leave the office and she looks upset because she knows she had to lie to someone to get what she needed. But they never show that. It shows more like she's having a great time being a salesperson.
Well, and I think when you have people selling actively shitty things, you have to have a combination of grifters and true believers to make it work. There are some people who know it's garbage and they're just trying to make money. But she's a true believer. She uses the system, and since she uses the thing at the end, she's a Lux subscriber. So she's paying for the big package, or at least she gets it as part of her job or something.
It's probably a perk.
Yeah, but either way, she believes in the thing. And so, you get both of those sides. I mean, it's the whole, hey, Jason, remember how you didn't want to be political all the time? We're watching Black Mirror now.
I know, I'm fine. As long as it's warranted.
It's the MAGA thing where some of the MAGA people are just grifters. They're just there to make as much money as they can. They don't believe anything. And then there's people who are the true believers, and they're the more dangerous ones because they actually believe all of it. And that's what happened in this episode.
To pull back a little bit, even non-MAGA, Warren Buffett, maybe he's MAGA, I don't know. He was saying he thinks a house costs $40,000.
I know, just out of touch.
and that's what I mean too. It's like a lot of people have this mentality that because I can afford it or I can do this, why can't you?
Yeah.
And everyone comes from different walks of life and different privileges and different things. And to Rachel's point, if we're all just a little bit more empathetic about everybody else's struggles, we could just figure all this shit out. But we can't be because we want it a little bit better than the next guy. And the reality is we should all just want good for everybody. And in this case, the salesperson, she's probably thinking well, why can't you afford it? Just pay it. And
just pay it.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're offering this.
One of the things I love about that moment, I think you can read it so many ways. I think all of your reads are correct. I want to add one more, which is we all kind of have to look at ourselves in the mirror. We all have to justify the things that we do. And what we see is a metaphorical version of her finding a way to justify her behavior, a way to turn what she's doing from exploitation into altruism. We see her do it with the flick of a finger, but it's essentially the kind of thought process and justification that is happening in people's heads when they're doing things like this.
I wonder if there's an empathy thing on their little app that she has to turn down before she does a sales pitch.
I bet you ain't it. I bet it's
it is.
Or no, you know what? There's a preset.
There's a preset.
The company
it's not for sales. Let's turn off empathy.
Yeah.
And Mondo, just
one other thing, Mondo,
do something. Oh, go ahead. I was going to say one thing that is nice. I think we're out of sync right now, Jason.
No, you guys are good.
What nice thing? Did you recognize the actress in the little ad for the Lux package who does the parkour?
No, I did not.
She's from Dropout, Dropout TV. Her name's Lisa Gilroy. She's one of the comedians who does all the stuff. She's one of my favorites because she's very chaotic on Game Changer and stuff like that.
New season of Game Changer started. Did you watch the first episode?
I haven't watched it yet. New Game Changer though.
Rachel and Jason, if you guys are not on this Dropout TV kick, you guys have a great time with it. It's my wife and I's favorite thing to do is get high and just watch Game Changer TV. All right, Game Changer or make some noise. It is off the wall and hilarious. And
Rachel, do you like improv?
Yeah.
You like improv comedy? Because that's the entire channel. It's improv comedy done by people who know how to do it really well. It's fantastic.
I'll just straight up send you my login, and if you like it, I'll assume that you'll spend money on it.
I think you get a week free anyway. So
that's why
just tell me what I need to watch. I'll get my greedy little pause on it.
I think you'll enjoy it.
What College Humor turned into. It used to be College Humor. It became Dropout. So
That's
if you watch
sophisticated
humor
humor.
back in the day, that's what it is.
Okay.
A lot of
Right
the
now
same
I'm like
people.
deep in a like catching up on I think
Oh.
you should leave. Like that's where all of
Oh,
my
yeah.
time is going.
Mm.
I am so excited for Friendship.
I mean, come on, of course. Yeah, oh yeah.
But
Like our
drop
joke
out
at our
of
house is always
stress-free
sure
television.
about that.
Okay,
Sorry.
Jason,
All right.
I'll let you talk on your podcast.
So I just want to go real back to one of the things that Mondo was talking about, how she had her lack of agency in making decision.
Mhm.
Really reminded me of the ending of Reanimator,
Yeah,
Interesting. Okay.
where he gives
I
her,
can see that.
where she's, where he gives what's her name, Barbara Crampton, the injector fluid. And it's one of the things it's always bugged me about the sequels, as fun as they are, that they never come back to that character and see like
Mhm.
what happened after she was reanimated.
Barbara
And then
Crampton,
also we haven't
also
talked
national
about the
treasure.
director.
I 100% vote for a Tilly Crampton bill in 2028. I'm just saying.
Yes,
Hell yeah.
please.
That sounds great.
I did
Save us, Barbara
love
Crampton.
that yeah. So I just want to go to the director. We haven't really talked about her. And Rachel, you can correct me on this. It's Ali Panwick or Panquick.
Panko?
I honestly
Anyways.
don't know. I did not know that was part of my homework to know that.
You should know all the women directors, right?
Wow, you're just gonna call me out like this?
Crickets.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know.
She did
no,
direct
she
that
did
episode of Black Mirror. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she did she was a longtime story editor on Schitt's Creek. And when they keep going back to the same place for their anniversary burger, I'm a big Schitt's Creek fan. Made me think of the Lover's Curry episode.
I haven't seen the show.
But I don't know if that was like a veiled thing. She also has, I guess, a documentary she's working on right now called Lilith Fair about the
About
concert.
Fair?
Okay.
Tell
Yeah,
me you're a
Lilith
lesbian
Fair.
without telling me you're a lesbian. Okay, great.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I thought she did a great job directing this episode for how tonally interesting, like complex it is. I just wanted to shout her out too.
Well, Rachel, you mentioned there was. Oh, Rachel disappeared.
Rachel's turned into a
I'm
cat.
here. I have to get something out of my eye, and I didn't want to make you guys watch.
Okay.
But that cat is very cute. I'm just saying.
Thank you. Her name is Leela, and she is a princess.
I was going to say this
Leela?
director also directed the
Like
episode of
Futurama.
Black Mirror that had
Mhm.
the person from Black Mirror, or not from Black Mirror, from Schitt's Creek, Annie Murphy.
Yes,
Oh,
that
wait,
is one of the
Alexa?
fun ones you must watch.
Yeah, it's the same director. So she directed a fun one and this one.
Well, range. This woman has
Range.
range.
Emotional devastation and fun.
Is your
All
cat
right.
named after Leela from Futurama?
Yep. I used to have a fat orange cat named
Nice.
Fry as well.
That is excellent. I like you even more than I did before this.
Yeah, my wife at one point did dress up as Leela for Halloween.
Me too.
Awesome.
I have a feeling for Mondo dressing up like Leela is just one step below dressing as Jennifer Tilly.
Oh yeah, she's like, I'm gonna take my costume off. I'm like, not yet. You're not.
I hope you were dressed like Zap Brannigan. That's all I'm going to say, because I feel like
Oh,
you could
no,
pull
I
off the
don't-
white boots and the velour.
I could not dress like I don't respect that man enough to dress. Like
Yeah.
that. I don't
Yes,
remember.
I've been dreaming of this since high school. I feel like was mentioned at some point.
All right, let's do
She
our
didn't- She
episode
didn't pluck an eye
rating.
out,
We
though.
do
Wasn't dedicated to the character. I'm just saying.
All right, let's do episode rating 0 to 5, 5 being the best, 0 being the worst. Rachel, what do you give this episode?
I mean, there are two ratings. There's the one in my heart, which is about how much it made it hurt. And then there is how effective it is. And I think at the end of the day, the whole point of Black Mirror is to really put a microscope on some element of culture that is very dystopian. In this case, it's one that feels like it could happen today or tomorrow, as opposed to a little distance. So even though I did not have the best time watching it, I think you cannot look at this and all of the elements that come together and give this a poor rating. This to me is probably a 4.
All right, Jody.
Yeah, I'm right there with Rachel. I'm gonna bump it up just a touch, just because I think it's so well done. It's gonna be a 4.5 for me. One thing I forgot to mention, you were talking about dystopia. Um, did you catch that the bees are all dead in this world?
Yes.
Sure did.
She's teaching in school, and she's like, "What are the autonomous bees for? This is what real bees used to do." Yeah, so now I guess they have electronic bees in this future. So yeah, everything sucks.
Yeah.
It's all bad, but
Yeah,
4.5.
I was waiting to see where the bees were going to come into the episode. I guess that's
I
just
think it
a
was
little
just
bit of
another
world
element
building.
of the suckiness.
Not the
Mhm.
bees.
Not the bees. All right,
Yeah.
Mondo.
Bees.
Yeah, I'm gonna go same as Jody, 4.5. Because again, did I enjoy watching this? No. Did I feel good after watching it? No. Was it very well done and very thought provoking? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have to give it high marks for that because it's one I'll think about for a long time.
Yeah, I'm stuck somewhere between 4 and 4.5. We just haven't watched Black Mirror in so long. It's like hard to recalibrate to compare it against another Black Mirror. So I'm just going to go with the 4 because I don't want Rachel to be alone in her rating.
I'm surprised Jason didn't give it a 7 because
Feel good episode
Yeah,
of the
it's fun.
year.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break for a shout out.
Hi, I'm Heidi Haddad from Slumber Party Massacre 2, Friday the 13th, and Society. You're listening to Dads from the Crypt.
Well, that made me so much
Aw.
happier.
Another
You can't be
babe.
sad.
Let's add her to the. We are
Well-
getting together like a full Avenger situation with all the horror babes in their 60s. Add her
Well,
to the
she's-
list.
Mhm.
she's also an activist and does like really, really great things for people. So good for her,
Mhm.
man.
Stop.
All
You
right,
can only
Mondo,
get so lady
song of the day.
I'll be quick. There's a Finnish grindcore band, and if you guys don't know about grindcore, it means you only have to listen to a song for like 2 minutes. That's a long song in grindcore. I mean, the album this song is off of has 15 tracks and it's like 28 minutes long. But the song is called Lobotomy because it fits very well with this. And Rotten Sound is a band from Finland, I believe, off Death Vomit. Oh, I can go on a rant, but they used to be on Death Vomit Records, which is a subsidiary of the American label Necropolis back in the early 2000s, like 99, 2000 era, which I was in a band. We were signed to them and then they fucked us. That's a whole nother story for another day. But recorded a record, never got paid for it, never got released. All money came out of our pockets. You know how much $5,000 is when you guys are all like 18 and 20? It's a lot of money. And
Yeah.
so-
You're gonna have to get on Dumb Dummies.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
I would have pulled a fucking tooth out at that point to recoup some losses. Anyhow, they're a band that's really a lot of grindcore. It's fun. He's been such an aggressive music. Is very socially conscious, very socially aware, and all their songs are kind of about social issues. So check it out. It's the song is called Lobotomy off the album Murder Works by the band Rotten Sound from the great country of Finland, which I'm assuming we're just going to annex someday. It's fine.
All right, I'm claiming a fjord in the name of Rachel's.
All right, Jody, give us some horror news.
All right. Let's talk about something fun. Well, we're not going to talk about something fun because the first thing I'm going to talk about is Ari Aster. We got a poster for Ari Aster's new movie.
Oh my god, that poster is so bleak.
Yeah. His
All right,
new
look
movie
this
is
up.
a Western called Eddington, and the poster, all we know about it, the poster is a bunch of buffalo running off of a cliff. It says the word Eddington real big on it, and then it says hindsight is 2020, like the year 2020. I have no idea what Ari Aster has in store for us, but it's gonna make me feel as bad as this episode, I feel like.
I can give you a little more detail if you want it.
Do it.
It's a
Ooh.
contemporary noir western black comedy starring Pedro Pascal
Yes.
and
I heard Joaquin Phoenix, I think, isn't it?
Joaquin
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix,
Wow.
Pedro
Emma
Pascal,
Stone?
Emma Stone, and Austin Butler.
Mm-hmm.
Cast
Wow.
is stacked.
Yeah.
I mean, I still haven't watched Beau's Afraid. Just
I
for
haven't
many,
either.
many reasons.
I have
Oh
so
boy,
much
oh boy, oh
anxiety.
boy.
I don't need an anxiety movie.
Well,
No,
I
I
haven't
don't need
either
that.
because
But
it's
it's
like
only 3 hours long. It's
That's what I
gonna
mean.
fly by.
I love Ari Aster, but can we stop having 3-hour movies, please? For the love
Yeah.
of God, for us old people, can we stop having 3-hour movies?
It is an endurance test for sure. But it's excellent. It's like this today. Like we all had the best, worst time ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like 3 times that long. Yeah.
I think we all have mommy
Sometimes
issues
when
that
I am in
preclude us from watching that.
Yeah. I just have to wait till I'm in a very good mental state to watch an Ari Aster movie, which is hard to find because my mental states don't get good enough for Ari Aster
See you
very
in
often.
2028.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe. Yeah. We got to get through these 4 years.
if we're still allowed to have a
Manifesting.
podcast.
Broadcasting live
Underground
from El
podcast.
Salvador.
Oh man.
I,
All right.
I really am putting the nail in the coffin. This is the last one.
Never.
All right. Let's talk about some trailers. We got a trailer for Hell House LLC Lineage, which is the supposed to be final movie in the Hell House franchise, and it's not found footage, which is
Yeah.
both interesting and concerning for me.
I would say it's not concerning, being the fact that after that first one, which I thought was fantastic, they've never been really able to regain what they did in
That's
that
true.
first one.
It's not
So-
exactly a series that I'm like, it's all highs, so I'm afraid of a low.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of lows.
Yeah, the first is great. The second has some good stuff in it. The third one I did not like at all, and and the latest one was not bad at all. It was just kind of boring.
Sure. And the director just had his first non-Hell House movie come out. What was the name of that one? It was something. It's like an
Forest
address.
Road. Yeah, it's like 4 something.
Oh, 825 Forest Road on it's
There
on
you go.
Shutter right now.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but so he's branching out, trying some non-found footage stuff. I fully get directors starting with found footage. It's easy. You don't have to have like complicated camera setups and things like that. And he made an incredible found footage movie the first time. So I'm interested to see what he does with a non-found footage in the Hell House line. I want to feel what I felt the first time I watched the original Hell House LLC.
Yeah.
That movie scared me. It was awesome. I loved it. The sequels disappointed me, and I want to go back to being scared by it. So, yeah. But the trailer that Jason specifically told me to make sure we talked about, I was already planning on talking about it. Predator Killer of Killers, the animated anthology film coming this June.
It looks cool.
Directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who is now the Predator guy. Because he did Prey, he's doing Badlands, he's doing this.
Let him cook.
Yeah,
let him
he's
cook.
good.
Yes.
The Prey was so good. He's the same guy who did 10 Cloverfield Lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, excellent movie. I still love 10 Cloverfield Lane. And this movie looks super cool. It's an anthology film. It's about Predator going through different eras of time, hunting down like warriors from those various times, like
Vikings and samurai, World War II.
Yeah.
I think.
Please tell me there's a Pirates episode. I want Predator versus Pirates so bad.
I think there's a comic book about that.
I
Really?
feel like this. I feel
I
like
need
this
to
could
see
go
him
on
like
forever.
swashbuckle. I need him to swashbuckle. I will.
There was a pirate's hat on. My gosh.
I need him to get scurvy.
Okay. There was a comic book called Predator 1718, which features a predator battling alongside a pirate named Raphael Adolini.
How do we
All
feel
right.
about Predator making allies with peoples? This
I'm not
is an
sure.
alien
Well,
maybe
Here's the thing:
situation.
Predator, because the Predator has an actual code of ethics, and like
Yes.
he's actually a thinking monster. He's not just mindless. I like it.
Yeah.
If
Well,
they can
and-
make it make story sense, I'm down.
Well, and with Predator, there's not a predator. There's a whole like planet of predators.
Predators
and so some
are
of
not
them
a
are going to be
monolith.
more sympathetic. The what was it, 2018 Predator movie? Like there was a good Predator
No,
in the
this-
good. Was it
Yeah,
20?
something like
Am
that.
I wrong on the
I
year?
can't remember.
There's
But
one predator that
it was
voted the
just
right
like
way
the
and one that
Predator.
voted the wrong way, and that's how.
Yeah.
And they're predators.
But
All right.
no, I mean
Grandpa,
after
make
after
America
Prey,
predators again. Wait, no, never mind.
No,
No,
no, no,
no,
already
no,
are.
Wait, wait.
I'm
They
flipping
already
that.
are.
I'm flipping that for TikTok, Rachel.
No.
The Catholic Church already exists. We don't need more predators.
Oh.
To catch a predator.
I mean, they can just go to the
no, because
Vatican.
after Prey,
Catch a lot of them.
Conclave, Predator Conclave. There you go.
There you go.
Because
Yeah,
after Prey, people were like, "Oh, drop the Predator in this, drop the Predator in that," and instead of like having to recycle the same story for a movie that may or may not come out every couple of years, yeah, just give us a great anthology. And I'm very excited. Artwork looks really good. A Predator killing Nazis, and what could you want?
Well,
I
the
feel
comic
like
books have
this
done a lot of
series-
cool stuff. The
I
comic books
feel
done
like
Predator
you could
versus
go on
Batman,
forever.
Predator versus Superman, Predator versus
Yeah. No,
Avengers. So
I
they've
grew
always
up
done really cool
reading all
stuff.
those comic books. Predator versus Batman was awesome.
I just feel like the Killer of Killers could go on forever. Just find different time periods, drop predators into them. Like you could keep on doing
Sure.
that as long as you have historical references to work with.
At some point, I really want him to make a sequel to Prey because there was. Do you
Prey's
remember
so
in the credits there was like hints of like the like native art where the
Mhm.
all the ships came back. I want to see that. I
Yeah.
want that. I mean, I
Yeah.
get why he wants to go on and tell different stories, and frankly, he has earned my trust. I'm like ready to go along on this
Mhm.
journey, but there's a little part of me that wishes we got the Predator Prey too. I also love Amber
I'd be down
Midthunder,
with that.
and I want to see
Me
her
too.
again.
Yeah,
She's
I'm,
a
she's
I'm
great.
looking forward to
character.
Novocaine because I know she's in it and it just came out on digital recently. So
Today, I think.
yeah,
Mm,
ready to watch that one.
Yeah,
me too.
All right. Other news. This is very exciting for me personally and probably some other people. But Jessica Roth and Christopher Landon have confirmed Happy Death Day 3 is moving forward. It is
Finally.
in motion. It is happening. Jessica Roth literally said the third movie is moving forward, and Christopher Landon said it is moving forward. Those were the quotes.
I
So,
like it.
yes, more Happy Death Day.
Fun
I
movies.
will never get tired of her as Tree. She is an amazing character. Both of those movies are so much fun. I love them so much. So more of it, yes, please.
Agree. Agree to agree.
All right, other adaptations coming out soon. Mike Flanagan is going to be doing a Carrie adaptation for Prime Video, and I think it's a series, right? Or is it a 8-episode adaptation of Carrie?
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
I
mean,
trust
I'm
Mike
just hoping
Flanagan with
he's
everything.
buying time for them to like wrap up that Lord of the Rings thing so they can put the budget into his Dark
Yes.
Tower adaptation. That is
Yes.
what
Oh,
we're
God.
all just hoping for.
I want a good Dark Tower. I don't want the
Yeah.
movie Dark Tower. I want like
No.
a 100-episode series. It's too much. It's
Correct.
7 books. You can't do
I w-
that in a movie.
I mean, yeah. If they
But-
can speed through Song of Susanna as fast as they want, but
Sure.
the rest
But
of it, please take.
I like Song of Susanna though. I like the backstory. I like Roland's history.
That's fair. That's fair.
There's a whole comic series too that goes deep into that. So yeah,
Mhm.
lots of good stuff out there. But anyway, Mike Flanagan is going to be doing a Carrie series, 8 episodes for Amazon Studios, and I'm very excited about it. We're going to
they
get in.
announced someone for Miss the Teacher.
I think they've also talked about casting for Carrie herself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see,
don't know
Mike
who the teacher's
Flanagan.
Is it the little girl who was in Cult of Chucky, or is that a different Carrie thing?
Think that's the one.
I think it's
that's
the
it.
one. Yeah, in Cult
Yeah.
of Chucky, there's a little girl, and I think that same little girl has grown up over the last few years, and she's playing Carrie in this new thing.
Nice. Nice.
But speaking of Stephen King, because I'm a huge Stephen King fan, and I grew up with him, and he was probably my introduction to real like grown-up horror.
Mhm.
Bloody Disgusting has an article about 6 upcoming Stephen King adaptations arriving in 2025. So I want to talk about them real quick. The first one was The Monkey, which I fucking loved. It was so good. I can't wait to watch The Monkey again. Oh, that's great. Rachel has a monkey behind her.
I saw that.
I loved that movie so much. I can't wait to rewatch it.
It's great.
So we got The Monkey. Life of Chuck is coming June 6th, which is
Mhm.
Stephen King and Mike Flanagan again. So
Mhm.
very excited about that pairing. Mike Flanagan does Stephen King better than I think about anybody else does.
Yeah.
He's the only one I could have seen making a sequel to The Shining book and movie at the same time.
Yeah.
And
At
making
least
it
as
good.
good as Frank
Like,
Darabont.
Frank
Yeah, I was gonna
Darabont.
say,
Yeah, you could probably
Sure.
argue.
yeah.
Frank Darabont did a ton. I just feel like Mike Flanagan's got a special touch with King.
He does the emotional core.
Yes.
And yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Another one we're getting September 12th in theaters is The Long Walk, which is one of Stephen King's darker stories. Yeah, no kidding. We also get the Edgar Wright directed Running Man in November.
What is that?
Which-
I'm so excited for that.
Who doesn't love The
Yeah.
Running Man?
And it has Katie O'Brien in it, who I love. It's
Arnold Schwarzenegger's, Katie O'Brien, Daniel Ezra, Carl Glusman, Josh Brolin, Lee Pace. Like it's Michael Cera. There's
Michael
so many
Cera,
people in this movie.
amazing.
Yeah.
He's gonna be so
I want to see him
weird.
like
I can't wait.
Yeah, I want to see him like Mad Maxed up to like
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. We're also getting the It Welcome to Derry series this year.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Skarsgård's going to be in it. Andy Muschietti is involved in it. And the last one that is TBD on the date. But The Institute, one of King's newer novels, I think in the last 2 or 3 years. The Institute's good. It's if you are a King fan and you read Firestarter, the creepy like government institution that turns Charlie into the Firestarter person. The Institute continues that story. And so very excited about it. So much good Stephen King stuff. And again, my heart is still with all of King stuff. I am a constant reader. I have been since I was like 13. So
Me too.
Yeah.
Like it was definitely one of those things where I was probably like I started on like Dean Koontz and then graduated to King.
I went from R.L. Stein to Stephen King. Like there was no middle ground.
Like my grandparents let me buy Pet Cemetery from a Barnes and Noble when I was like 10.
Oh, boy.
Cemetery's a rough one too.
Hello, deep end.
The sex scenes, like, at 10 years old, the sex scenes were the grossest part to me. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
People do
That
these
one
things.
darked me out with like, because I had seen the movie. Obviously, it's like woman directed. It's one of my all-time favorites.
Yep.
But they really do not lean into all the pet stuff in the same way as they do in the book.
Yeah.
Like the stuff with the dog. I was like, I don't think I can do this. It's too
It's
sad.
tough. It is tough.
I think I remember reading Pet Cemetery around 13, 14 years old.
Shit.
If it's what I'm remembering, the scene that stuck with me the most was a hand job in the bathtub scene. Because I was 13 or 14 years
I was
old,
like,
and
you were
Stephen
13 or
King makes
14.
creepy sex scenes in his movies
Mm-hmm.
or in books.
Yeah. Well, nothing beats it. I'm just gonna
Nothing
leave it
beats
at
it.
that.
Yeah.
Nothing beats it.
All right. Blumhouse is doing a halfway to Halloween festival. And as part of that, you have a chance to see Megan, Annabelle, and Ma in theaters again.
Ooh.
All three, I would say, are decently fun movies. Annabelle, less fun. If it would have been Annabelle Comes Home, I would be 100% on board with this.
Yeah,
But
I mean, speaking of Mike Flanagan, right? Didn't he do? Was it Mike Flanagan that did the prequel?
he did
Ouija.
No, he did
Ouija.
was it we
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did the
Ouija
prequel?
Origin of Evil is a Mike Flanagan movie, and
Ouija,
it's
yeah.
pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's talk releases for a second. When Evil Lurks is getting a 4K UHD from Shudder in June. I loved When Evil Lurks. I can't wait to watch
I
it
love
again.
it, but I don't. I say I don't know if I want to watch it again.
It's I
I've
loved
seen it twice. I might watch it again. We'll see.
No, when
I
Evil Lurks,
definitely want to see another movie in that universe. I would love that, but the original was so rough.
when Evil Lurks is a different kind of bleak, though. I mean, it's bleak, but it's not like the episode we just watched. Like it's so far removed from my day-to-day life that I could get into it. I don't hate things like okay, spoilers for When Evil Lurks. I don't hate the mom walking around carrying the kid eating his brains out of his head. Like, that's amazing.
I can't decide if I'm relieved or disappointed that the whole popcorn craze hadn't started when that
gosh.
came out.
Oh my god,
Right?
so good.
That's incredible. If that kid's head had been a popcorn bucket, I would have bought it immediately.
Oh, I'd be like, scalpers, whatever you want to charge. Let's do this. Let's fucking go.
Oh, man, I love that movie so much.
Oof.
All right. And finally, I get to talk about toys because it makes me happy. The last thing, 2 toys I want to talk about. The first one is NECA is in the middle of their haul-a-thon event with Target, where they do special releases at Target every week. But the most important one for me and horror fans in general probably is you can get a Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers figure. It looks just like him, crappy mask and all. I can't wait. I'm probably buying it this weekend when I get a chance to go by Target. So, yeah, good stuff there. And then the release that we have all been waiting for. I have, I think, 8 Jason Voorhees figures around my office in various places, all the way from part 1 through part 7. I don't think they've made a part 8 yet. But now, part 2 through part 7, because Jason wasn't in part 1. But you know who was? Pamela Voorhees. And you can buy a Pamela Voorhees figure starting now.
Yeah.
It's
Hell
available
yeah.
pre-order
Oh,
on
so
NECA's site. You want a
I pre-ordered
middle-aged lady with a crazy face, it's there for you.
You
She's
got it.
got knives and broken paddles and arrows and all kinds of fun accessories. I cannot wait for her to be on my shelf because
Damn
she's
it,
Jason's
I'm about
mother.
to buy that.
Well, I mean,
As you should.
yes, I need Jason's mother on my shelf, looking at me with crazy faces and talking to me.
That's
while I work.
right. I will say, as a Friday the 13th ultra fan, like I love the whole series, but I've seen part 1 in theaters a couple times. I was lucky to see it at the drive-in. When she does the killer, mommy, killer, it is bone chilling in the right circumstances. She is so good, and I cannot wait to have Pamela Voorhees in my office.
Hell yeah.
I will say, and I know you're going to hate me for this. The first one is really slow, but once she shows up, it kicks into high gear, and that's my favorite part.
I love it, and I love the first one, and you're wrong about that, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We've been doing this show for 3 years. Jason's wrong about some stuff. It's okay.
Usually.
If it's
More often
fun,
than not.
like Friday the 13th.
If it's fun, Jason just hates it. It's okay.
But I do love Friday the 13th, and so I will be buying Pamela as soon as I can. So, yeah, lots of good stuff from NECA. I will say, hey, you want to get sad and political again? I got an email from Big Bad Toy Store, which is my favorite place to buy toys.
Oh no.
Me too.
What did the tariffs do?
Yeah, no, they're about to have to start adding a 15 to 40% surcharge, and they're trying really hard. Like you can tell from this email, it's like,
Yeah.
we fucking hate every bit of this, and we hate telling you this, but man, we got to do it. Like if you want us to survive these next 4 years, we're going to have to charge you more. And I will absolutely pay it, but I hate it, and they hate it.
Yeah.
Everyone hates it. I
Yeah.
hate that my silly little hobby of collecting little plastic figures is about to be affected by the fucking president of the United States. It's so stupid.
That guy's a
Get
dick.
here.
Yeah, he sure is. He sure is. All right. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got.
All
I
right.
want to end on
Thank
a
you,
sad
Jody.
note.
Well,
Everything's
I'll bring us back
terrible.
up. We we love getting
William.
questions from our audience. If you have any questions, you can always respond to one of our social media posts or
Mhm.
email us at dadsfromthecrypt@gmail.com. I put out a call last week. Unfortunately, we had our uber long episode. So we deferred, but we have a great question from listener Alfonso. He asks, do you think storytelling and narrative can make horror more compelling? What do you say to those who see horror as just one-dimensional and nothing more than mindless gore? Mondo, you even commented how much you like that question, so I'll let you start.
Yeah. No, I think there's a place for both, right? But and I was just thinking about today. There's a reason why. I'll use two examples of Cannibal Ferox and Cannibal Holocaust. Cannibal Ferox was gore for the sake of gore a lot of the times. Cannibal Holocaust had a story behind it to kind of talk about who's the real monster. Like, is it us or these people we just consider savages because we don't know them? And one definitely has stuck with my brain, and one I remember the cool kills, and that's about it. So I do believe, like, while gore does have a place, I do love gory movies. Don't get me wrong. When you take a good story, it just amplifies all that times 10 and then makes it into something greater than what it was originally maybe intended to be. So and the people that think that horror is just gore, it's people that don't watch horror. Let's just be honest. And there's a reason why, if your normie friends ask you, like, recommend me a horror movie, you don't tell them to go watch Cannibal Holocaust. You tell them to go watch something with more substance, like Black Mirror, or they may never talk to you again. That's fine. Or Tales from the Crypt is, in my opinion, great starter horror, because it has some gory elements sometimes. It has a story, it has campiness, and all that kind of rolled into one. So I do believe anytime, and I do think, man, there's, like, you guys have probably heard about the infamous, like, August Underground films, and like, there's one that was filmed in Vegas that actually my wife knows someone that they asked to be in the movie. She said no, called Murder Set Pieces. A lot of those have these crazy gore effects. And don't get me wrong, that's cool if that's what you enjoy. But I also see those a lot of times were meant as highlight reels for these special effects artists that were more so using them to get jobs on bigger works. And there's nothing wrong if that's what you enjoy. But anytime you can add a story into that, and that's something that actually sticks with you and kind of worms itself into your brain, it's going to be a better experience overall, I guess. That's it.
Rachel, do you want to add?
I mean, the question is, does it make it more compelling? And I think unequivocally, yes. Of course it makes it more compelling. I'm someone who is here when anything I watch or listen to, I'm here for storytelling. I want a good yarn, but I also want there to be something that makes me think, that is thought provoking. I always talk about, on the podcast, or just, when I'm actually a lot of times when I'm talking to directors, I feel like horror is the ultimate Trojan horse. Like, it is the way to talk about all kinds of things, all kinds of political things, social things, human things, and package it in a way that is able to sneak under your defenses. If you just watch a drama, you kind of know you're getting something that is meant to impact you or be thought-provoking in a particular way. And if they're counter to the sort of ideas that you already have, or the worldview you already have, there's automatically these defenses up. And horror sneaks under that. It can put you in the position of someone who is very different from you in a way that you are much less resistant to. And so for me, whenever people talk about horror being just gore or empty, they're not watching it. They're not watching it, because I think it is, of all the genres, the most political, the most effective, the one that best gets at the core feeling of humanity. And so, yeah, I love horror because of its depth, in addition to just the visceral thrills of it. It's one that lives in your body. There's actually, so there's the three, right? Like they're also kind of the most sort of impugned, which are comedy, horror, and erotica are the things where you actually, like, drama is something that you have an intellectual experience. These other ones evoke feelings in your body. There's like a visceral, tactile experience that you have, whether it's laughter, arousal, or fear. And so they get maligned oftentimes, but they're actually the ones that most put you in your body while you're having these experiences. And I think that's another piece of why they're such empathy bombs. So yeah, more compelling? Yes. Long story short, if I could ever answer a question short, is yes.
That was way smarter than what I said. I'm just going to edit my answer out.
Stop it. Shut up.
I got nothing to add to that.
Yeah.
Print it.
Yeah, Rachel, as a 17, 18-year-old living in a small town in Tennessee who grew up very conservative, comedy and horror were both my escapes together. Like I used to do a thing when I was in high school that I would call loser movie nights, because on a Friday night, I didn't want to go out. I stayed home And I would generally go to the video store, pick a comedy and a horror. Those were the two that I went for every time because I wanted that like impact the way that comedies and horrors both impact you. And you know, as far as gore, I look at gore as like a magic trick. Like I love a movie like The Monkey. The Monkey was so much fun. I had a great time. I was laughing. I was having fun. But then even something like what we watched tonight to talk about this Black Mirror episode, which is not strictly horror, but it's horror in a way. I mean, it's horror in real life.
It's horrific.
It's horrific. Yeah. And, you know, there are some things that are probably too much for me that, you know, really examine some good issues. Like I tend to stay away from movies that deal with like Alzheimer's and elderly people just because it's too real for me. Like my family has a history of Alzheimer's. I don't watch Alzheimer's movies because they scare me on a level that is gut-wrenching and I don't enjoy it. But I can enjoy the playfulness and all that. But then you can also have something like this show that we watched tonight, or more serious horror, and you can get a lot out of it because they can sneak things in. They can talk about things like a drama about Alzheimer's is 100% off my radar. It's not something I want to watch. It's not fun. I have no desire. But
So we shouldn't do Rule of Jenny Penn next week.
But see, that's a horror. That's Rule of Jenny Penn is sneaking some stuff in.
Trojan horse. Trojan
yeah.
horse.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I would be more willing to watch that than I would be to watch like some movie that's strictly about somebody slowly degrading in a nursing home because I'm afraid I'm going to end up in that situation someday.
Me too.
You know?
Like, we're gonna start our horror nerd commune, like, and take care of each other when we're old.
Right. Just watch, remember anything and take care of each other.
It'd be great.
Yeah, we'll like get out a big old screen, slam on project a little horror every night in our little cul-de-sac.
Some Evil Dead 2 playing all the time, and I will be happy even if I don't remember my grandkids. It's
Jason will sit in his room watching Black Mirror.
Well, it's funny. I used to work at a nursing home, and one of the things we had was like Sunday movie night, and it was always like, you know, a movie from the 50s or the 40s. You know, back in 2000. Now I'm like, oh, okay, we'll have like, you know, Halloween night, Friday 13th night, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street night.
If that's how I spend my 70s and up, I'm okay with it. That's a decent way to go. But you know, like,
we're gonna throw on Salo 120 Days of Sodom tonight. Like,
easy, there you go. But yeah, you know, like I love fun horror. I love bloody horror. It's like I will never turn down a chance to see a human being explode in an interesting way. Like it's a good time. But horror as a genre is one of the most complex genres, I think. I think they can do more with horror than they can do with just about anything else. You can get things greenlit that you would never get greenlit just as a straight drama. And so, yeah, horror is it's potential for anything and everything at the same time.
Yeah. Have you seen The Taking of Deborah Logan? That's good Alzheimer's horror.
Which one?
The Taking of Deborah Logan.
I haven't watched it yet.
That movie's good
because of that.
Freaking good.
It's probably about as close. What is the other one that just came out a few years ago that was like?
Yeah, The Ritual. No, not The Ritual.
No,
Relic.
The Relic. Yeah, I haven't been able to watch The Relic.
Oh, that one's
Deborah Logan seems more. It's got just enough horror in it that I can soften the blow from. Yeah,
it's horror. It's horror in the best way.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, I don't have much to add to anything everyone said, but I do think story. I'd rather have more story than gore, but if you can get plenty amounts of both, that's even better. But you know, there's a place for both.
Yeah.
All right. That wraps up another episode.
Wait,
Rachel, thank you for coming.
Jason,
what?
we also have 3 Patreon questions. Are we just going to ignore our Patreons?
Wow.
I'm saving them for next week. I'm saving those for next week.
Jeez, we can ask him new questions next week. These are 3 quick questions. I think we can get through them in the next 10 minutes.
Let's do at least one
Okay.
more. I want to do one more.
Let's do one more.
Okay,
We're having
all right,
fun.
Mondo, take it away.
Pick your favorite patron.
You're muted, Mondo, for some reason. You're still
Nope.
muted.
I
You gotta
keep
did
back
not
for a
mute
second.
him.
There you go. Oh,
There we
nope,
go.
he went away
Nope,
again.
overcorrect. There we
Oh,
go.
oh no, my mic somehow got unplugged. You know what? This Shure mic is a great mic. The fucking cable is a piece of shit cable. I'm just gonna say that. Get your shit together, Shure. This shit costs like $250. It wasn't cheap. Anyhow, I'm just gonna pick the first one that popped up my feed because I don't have to pick a favorite because I like all of our Patreons. And it's from our good friend Alyssa. Of the Silver Screams podcast for all your werewolf needs, who still made me watch the worst movie I've ever seen in my life, but we had a great time talking about it. Werewolf in the Women's Prison. Do not watch it.
She made me watch a Howling movie, like Howling 4, I think. Yeah, I get it.
You
I
hear the
think I know
title.
what Alyssa's kink is, guys.
You hear Werewolf in the Women's Prison, and you're like, that sounds like it might be fun. They somehow failed. I don't know how, but they failed in fun. Jason would love it. Anyhow, her question was, if you had to be blipped into any procedural crime show, what would it be?
Oh, jeez.
I have mine. I'll go first then. CSI Las Vegas, obviously.
You don't even have to move.
Not for the
You're like,
reasons
I'm
you
not
guys
commuting to this shit.
But, I can't remember the actress's name, but she played the title character in Return of the Living Dead 3. In CSI, she played Mistress Heather, and yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with her. Just saying.
Right,
Anybody
Does
else?
it need to take place in like Hawaii? Like
Hawaii 5-0, hanging out with Don Johnson.
That's the one.
There you go.
And I mean, I will get a white blazer and a bunch of cocaine, and we're gonna fucking do this shit.
I mean, if you're on that speedboat, you look cool as fuck. It doesn't matter who you are, you look
Right?
cool as fuck on that speedboat.
Right? Goofy ass me out there, but I'm on a speedboat.
I remember liking the show Cold Case quite a bit, and that is
Reno,
not active
Reno.
murders.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, it's okay, Jason. You can just talk over Jody's answer. It's fine.
I think we're mildly out of sync right now. I think
Yeah.
Jason and I are both talking at different times, but at the same time, it's. But yeah, Jason.
Cold Case Files.
Cold Case was a fun show, and the killers are not actively, seeking to kill me.
All right, Jason.
I'm done. I won't talk anymore.
Jason, what's happening?
Does Brooklyn Nine-Nine count?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
I
talking.
could-
Okay.
We know you're talking. We answered you. Can you...
I could also
Jason-
go for the
Jason's
show
on a
with my
different
celebrity
podcast.
doppelganger. I have a celebrity doppelganger, and I know this because people stop me in restaurants and tell me I look like her. Is that one from Criminal Minds?
I've never seen the show.
That's a
Sad
good
to
show.
But like,
Oh.
there's the person who's like the support tech person.
Yeah,
People tell me I look like her all the time.
I can see that.
I'm like, cool, I'll take it. Whatever. There's worse celebrity doppelgangers out there. I'll take it.
I will say Criminal Minds was the show that I could watch with my wife, that there were episodes that I'm like, that's worse than anything I've seen in a horror movie recently. So like, there are some dark episodes of that. There's one about a pig farmer who feeds his victims to the pigs. And that 100%, like, I was like, that's a scary ass episode.
To be fair, in CSI Las Vegas, Gil Grissom, God, I forgot the actor's name. He played a manhunter. But he always had a dad joke at the beginning of every episode. Just saying. Jason, are you still there?
Can you hear me?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Jason? Jason said he'd go with Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Which is a great show. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You want to know what Brooklyn Nine-Nine, too, how they handled the police brutality stuff that was going on in that last season? They handled it fantastically.
Surprisingly well. Yeah.
And rest in peace to Captain Holt, because, man, that guy was great in that show.
I want to say real quick. So we're doing our first episode of Black Mirror in a while, And at this point, Jason's video is out of sync. Mondo's mic's a little funky. So everything just like we're doing Black Mirror and technology is fucking us over from the start to the finish. So that seems perfect. I'm glad for it.
I hit the cable. Mine was a pepcac. Problem exists between computer and chair. That's my problem.
There you go.
Jason.
All right.
good.
Can you hear me now?
What?
Can you hear me
Brooklyn
now?
Nine-Nine.
Jason, Brooklyn Nine-Nine? You're in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
We can hear you. You're just living in the past slightly.
Jason,
By
let's wrap
like
this up.
30 seconds.
Wrap us up, Jason.
We'll all be quiet. Let Jason talk.
All right. Rachel, thank you for coming on. Tell us what's going on with More Deadly.
Thank you so much for inviting me and letting me be just like a agent of chaos on this podcast.
You love having that.
Oh, I love being here. So on More Deadly, we have some really fun episodes coming up. We have our interview with the directors Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck of Freaky Tales, which will be coming out next week.
Nice.
You can listen right now to our review of Holland, which is the latest from Mimi Cave. And we have a really exciting episode coming up about The Ugly Stepsister, which is like this German body horror retelling of Cinderella that is so incredibly fucked up. I'm very excited for people to hear
The
it.
trailers
I
for
wanna
The
see
Ugly
that.
Stepsister make me squirm. Just the trailers, much less the actual
Squirm
movie.
is the right word, and you'll know why when you watch it. And then obviously you can find me on Bloody Good Horror every week, where we, have a lot of fun. And it's where I met these wonderful guys. So come check it out.
Likewise.
All right. Well, we would really appreciate it if everyone would give us a rating review on iTunes, a rating on Spotify, like and subscribe on YouTube, and follow us at Dads from the Crypt Talk on TikTok. With that, we thank you for listening to Dads from the Crypt.
Follow Dads from the Crypt on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or I will follow you to the grave. No, seriously, you really should watch. But be careful what you ask for. You may get it.